The hunger in the forest. He saw Osei bend over the dead goat and tear at its throat with his teeth. Kofi was just 15. But he knew what he saw that morning. Behind the old cracked mud pen, the goat lay stiff. Its neck, torn. And Osei, skinny, quiet Osei, knelt beside it, mouth stained black-red. They locked eyes for one cold second. Then, without a word, Osei wiped his lips and walked toward the forest. That was the last clear morning, before the harmattan came. The village of Asokwa sits at the edge of Ghana's Apomproma forest. Once, it was green and thick with trees. Now, the loggers and miners have carved it open. Animals hide deeper. The forest is quieter. Hotter. Osei lived in the last row of clay houses. 19 years old. Thin like a dry stalk. He helped his mother with cassava. He was the kind of boy who carried water for elders. Never argued. Never shouted. Everyone said the same thing. Osei is a good boy. Until he vanished. He left on a market day. Told his mother, "I'm checking my rabbit traps." That was it. Night fell. He didn't return. The village called his name. Carried kerosene lamps down the paths. But the forest swallowed his name. 3 nights later, he returned. Alone. Quiet. Changed. Osei barely spoke. His eyes looked distant, glassy, like something inside had gone dark. Then, animals started dying. First a goat. Then chickens. Then a calf, dead before dawn, blood at its ears. Old Oma said it plainly. Owo has touched them. Owo. The spirit of death. Feared. Final. No deals. No mercy. And Kofi remembered. Osei's mouth that morning. The elders gathered under the palava tree. They spoke of the old beings. Owo, death with his silent ladder. Sasebonsam, giants with iron hooks, punishing greed. Moesha, small spirits who hide in trees, teaching healing to the worthy. But none of these spirits walk in daylight. Not like Osei. Kofi couldn't hold it in. He told his cousin Yo. So they followed Osei one night. He walked barefoot to the edge of the trees, and began to hum. No words. Just a low, broken note. Up and down. Up and down. Then, he vanished into the dark. They went to Nana Ibo, the oldest man in Asokwa. He listened and nodded slowly. A hunger has taken the boy, he said. Maybe Owo. Maybe. A Beifo. The witch that hides in human skin. Nana told them of a man from far distance. Swift runner. He blamed his own crimes on a hunger spirit, the Wendigo. Don't follow the boy again, the old man said. But fear is a strong hook. More animals died. A dog vanished. At night, the women barred doors. Men kept watch with blades. But still, that soft humming floated from the forest line. Deforestation had torn the land wide open. Some said the spirits had nowhere left to hide, so they came closer. Kofi's mother burned incense. The smoke stung his eyes. Then, one dawn, a scream. Osei was gone again. But his bed wasn't empty. It was soaked in thick, dark mud, smelling of the river's bottom. Footprints trailed from the bed to the door. The toes were too long. Men gathered. Tied charms to machetes. And entered the forest. They didn't return. Kofi couldn't sleep. At midnight, he walked alone into the trees. Then, a voice. Kofi. He turned. There was Osei. Eyes dull. Nails black. Skin crusted with mud. It eats, Osei said. When it eats, I feel nothing. When it stops, I feel pain. Shapes moved behind Osei. The missing men. Blank faces. Eyes shut. One by one, they dropped to the ground. "It lets me stay, if I feed it," Osei said. Kofi whispered, "It's Owo." Osei shook his head. "No. Owo waits at the door. This one is already inside." Something tall moved in the trees. A black shape. A pillar of shadow. Kofi ran. Roots grabbed. Branches scratched. But he broke through the trees and slammed into his front door, gasping. At dawn, drums beat. The men were still missing. Police came. Took statements. Blamed miners. They didn't speak of spirits. But the mothers poured libation. And wailed. 3 nights later, Nana Ibo the old man gathered the villagers. "This is no illness," he said. "The forest has opened a door." He looked around. Who knew the boy best? Kofi stepped forward. At sundown, they returned to the boundary tree. They placed goat liver on a stool. Drew a chalk circle. The air stilled. The frog stopped. Osei stepped out. "We called the boy," Nana said. "Not the hunger." Kofi held a kola nut, rubbed in salt and pepper. "Osei," he whispered. "Take this. Remember." Osei sniffed it. Then bit. Black liquid spilled from his mouth. He screamed, sharp, inhuman. He dropped. His spine twisted. Something shifted beneath his skin. The hunters stepped forward. From Osei's back, the shadow burst. A smoky form. Thin arms. Hooked fingers. It fled toward the trees. Iron swung. Torches flew. It shrieked and vanished. Osei slept for days. When he woke, he asked for water. No animals died that week. No humming. But the search party was never found. He said he fell into a mine shaft. In the dark, a voice whispered. It offered warmth in exchange for hunger. He took the deal. And the thing sang through him. Osei left Asokwa to live with his uncle, far from the forest. Before he went, he told Kofi, "I wish I never went in." Kofi replied, "Maybe the spirits come close, because we pushed them out." Kofi is 15 now. Sometimes he still hears that faint hum. And when he does, he grips his knife of iron. He waits. Because some hungers, they don't die. They just sleep.